Hey y'all, got a little supper going on. Time to rattle those pots and pans. Michael has come in and he said he was hungry, and he's so hungry I sent him outside. So here's what we got going tonight. I'm cheating a little bit. I've bought some meatballs and I'm going to try to do a little version of my style Swedish meatballs here. Y'all can see that. I've never tried these before. I usually do not buy meatballs. I prefer to make my own. But hey, you never know till you try, right? And I figured this would be a quick meal if I don't have to make my own meatballs. Looks like there's a dozen in this pack. Now, I might like them better than mine. I don't know. But go ahead and put them on this. It might help if I cut the stove on though, hadn't it? You know, that's rule number one. I mean, these kind of look like my homemade meatballs. And I do, when I am making meatballs, obviously, hamburger or ground chuck, I like something that's a little bit less greasy, a lean chuck, maybe. And I do them simple with my spices, just my regular spices, depending on what you're going to use them for. Probably Italian spice most of the time. Always garlic, salt, and pepper. I like to use chopped up croutons for the breading in mine. Of course, you got to put an egg in there to hold it. Sometimes I'll squirt a little bit of Italian dressing in there if I'm using it for an Italian dish. So, but I'm not making meatballs tonight. Got this going on, and I'm going to go ahead and be cooking those and let you know what else I got going here. I've got some Wegmans pasta. This ain't that pasta out of the box. This is some more, I guess you could say it's kind of fresh. So, got that. I've got some good old garlic clove. And traditionally, I don't think Swedish meatballs call for garlic, and sometimes not even onion, but I'm going to put some in mine. I am going to do onion powder, though, instead, because I'm going to top this off with my favorite green onions. And some parsley, of course. When these meatballs get done, I'm going to be making like a roux or gravy out of it. I'm going to be using heavy whipping cream for that. I think this is heavy whipping cream, yeah. And some flour, and of course I got my salt and pepper over there. But I got this pot with a little bit of salted water in it. And I'm going to use this beef stock here because I want to flavor my pasta a little bit as I'm cooking it. So, those meatballs are sizzling already. Hopefully this meal ain't going to take me too long. You know, I just might as well pour all that in there. That wasn't a full container, y'all. That was some I had left over from something else. So, I'll let that stock be getting a little bit hot while these meatballs are sizzling. And while these are frying up, I'm going to probably grate me some Parmesan cheese because I'm going to top it off at the end with that. As soon as these meatballs get done, I will be right back. Been sizzling on these meatballs here, and I've just kept them flipped. Ooh, let me put that heat back. I'm going to go ahead and take them up. It's hard to cook meatballs without them going flat. If y'all got a secret for that, how about commenting below and let me know. I know I've tried them in mini muffin pans before, and that would just work kind of so-so. But I kind of wish now I'd just made my own meatballs from scratch instead of trying this little quick fix here. But we'll see. And the reason I say that is because these are actually an Italian style meatball, so I'm thinking that they're probably going to be more of a sausage base. Let's see there. Well, they look good. They smell good. They also got some Parmesan cheese in them, so cheese is always good. But yeah, Italian meatballs in a Swedish dish. I don't know, y'all. We'll see. It's an experiment. So this really didn't make up enough grease for me to make the gravy with. So I'm gonna have to add something. Yep. I'm going to have to add a little grease to make the gravy. So, let's see. Let me go ahead and get that heat back up though. Shouldn't have cut it off. know, it might be good. I know one thing, that beef broth is smelling really good in the pot for the pasta here. You can see that. It's just half beef broth and half water and a little bit of salt. So, thing you do when you're making gravy, you do want your pan hot. I always like to use a wooden spoon for gravy. I don't know why. I normally would also use my cast iron pan for gravy. But hopefully this pan will do okay. I really probably should have brought out my cast iron pan. But y'all, this is what happens when you get in a hurry for dinner. But we shall see. We shall see what happens. It's getting a little bit hot. That's a little piece of garlic that I dropped in there accidentally, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle a little, this is just all-purpose flour. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of that in there. And y'all, that grease I added was just bacon grease. Don't tell nobody. It's a southern thing. Ain't no telling what this meal's gonna turn out to be. Y'all might not ever see this video. But I got the recorder button on. Win or lose, it's gonna make something. So I'm just getting that flour mixture out good. I think I'll add just a little bit more, sprinkle a little bit more in there. Gravy always makes a mess. At least for me it does. It's a good thing if I'm eating gravy for supper that I walked on that machine today. All things in moderation. Okay, I probably got a little bit too much flour in there down. And I probably got my heat a little bit higher than what I wanted it. So, and here's where I'm going to start adding to it. Go ahead and add some of this. And this is just more beef broth. The thing about gravy, or at least I find, you got to keep it stirred till you get it made and get it the consistency that you want. Ooh, and this is way too thick. I knew I put too much flour, but we're going to keep working with it. This is what happens when you don't go by a recipe. But don't be scared to try anything, y'all. This is my kitchen. I'm just doing it up and experimenting. I don't like to experiment with a lot of things like hair color, but I don't mind experimenting in the kitchen. I ain't made my family sick yet, so. Alright, that's looking a little better. Okay, I've cut my heat back. It's still, this pan's still relatively hot. So I'm also going to start adding in some whipping cream. You could use half and half, or you could use milk. But it might help if I can get the daggone thing open. Let's see here. Woo! Let's see what we can fix here. I know it don't look good, but it's gonna be good. You gotta work with gravy. Might have to get my whisk out. Get some of them clumps out. If it don't have a few clumps in it, it ain't real gravy. I don't want that clumpy. thing with a milk-based gravy or whipping cream, just like when you're doing good old sausage gravy and you're using milk, you do have to be careful with your heat because milk does scorch very easily, of course. And you sure don't want burnt milk. Makes a mess and it tastes bad. This is looking much better, so just gonna keep stirring, keep working with it. Y'all gonna get tired of hearing me talk. All about the gravy. Does smell good. Okay, at this point I think I'm gonna go ahead and add some spices to it. I'm gonna add a little bit of onion powder. Maybe a lot of bit of onion powder. I'm gonna add garlic powder because, not that much. Because I didn't want to utilize my whole garlic here. I already had a little bit more that I had minced. So I got a little bit, just a little scoop I'm gonna put in there. I know that kind of looks like a lot, but I don't think it will be. Swedish meatballs kind of have a bite to them anyway. That mixture, it's just a little, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a little bite. It's not spicy, but a little kick flavor. Oh yeah, this gravy's looking pretty good now. See how easy that was, y'all? Keep stirring that gravy, and you can keep adding whatever. I'm gonna do a little bit of more broth. Add to it until you get the consistency you want, and then just watch your heat. Did I put salt in there? I don't think I put any salt in there. Put a little salt. The thing that's going to really make this gravy pop at the end, that's what's going to make it good. And y'all see that in just a minute. And then I'm going to add those meatballs back to it once I get it like I want it. And I'm just going to let it simmer while I get the pasta ready. And that pasta ain't going to take too long. So here's the consistency of that. Yeah. Some of that is those little clumps there. That's actually pieces of the meatball that fell off. It's not flour. First time I ever made gravy in my life, I had clumps of flour in there, and it tasted like floured water. That was a long, long time ago. I've made a lot of gravy since then. Okay, now sour cream for these meatballs, y'all. It's gonna, looks like I got a little guacamole spread in there from last night. Maybe not. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? I don't have much. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the rest of it in here. This was a 8-ounce container, or is it 6 ounce? 8 ounce, I think. Yeah, 8 ounce. But there was probably about an ounce out of it that I had used for something else last night. Sour cream is one of those things I just keep on hand. I put it in a lot of things. We love sour cream biscuits, and last night we ate Mexican food, so I had to have sour cream for that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my parsley in here. This is just parsley flakes. I might even sprinkle a little bit more on my plate once I plate it, just to make it look pretty. Next thing I'm going to have is some green onions. I already had these chopped in my refrigerator. When you get green onions, go ahead and chop them if that's how you're going to be using them. And if you're going to be using them whole, wrap them up in a paper towel. If you don't, they will get in your refrigerator and get that old wilty, mushy look, and you don't want that. So that's just a little tidbit if you're not already doing that. Oh yes, yes, I love the onions. All right, so let's go ahead and put these meatballs back in here, getting them good and coated. Looks like there were 12 meatballs in this pack. That means I get 7 and Michael gets 5. No, I'm just kidding. So let's just cover them up. Ooh, that's a lot of green onions, ain't it, y'all? But I like it. I love green onions. All right, so now I'm going to cut this back on low. I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to get my pasta ready. Another little tip for y'all, I just grated up some Parmesan cheese because I'm going to put that on the top. I love to buy fresh Parm. Always save this rind, this hard rind piece at the bottom. It is great to put into your water pot whenever you're making pasta. And to boil that rind with it. But I still got some meat left in this cheese, so I'm not going to do that tonight. But that's just a little tidbit for you. So, while that's simmering, I'm going to go ahead and get these noodles boiling. Ooh, these noodles is boiling. I mean, this pot's boiling. I'll go ahead and drop these noodles in here. And I don't think I'm going to break these. I think I'm going to put them in there just like that. Fettuccine noodles. So, since they're not dried out of a box, it really is not going to take these long at all. They'll be done in just a couple of minutes. You don't want to overcook them. I did go back, after I turned the video off, I add some black pepper to this. So, all right, dinner's almost done. Okay, y'all, I think these noodles are done. This pasta is really smelling good. My meatballs are done, but like I said, when the camera was off, I did go back and add a little bit black pepper to this. Y'all didn't see that pictured earlier. And I did add just a little pat of butter, probably about a tablespoon. I do feel like I probably added way too much garlic because I got a little heavy-handed when I was doing it a while ago. So if you're making this recipe, you might not want to add as much garlic as I did. It's okay for me because I like garlic, but some people may not like that much garlic. But it is healthy for you. I also think a takeaway from this, I would prefer to do my own meatballs, but this was a quick way. I think these meatballs, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'm being a little bit too pessimistic. We'll see. And I did keep this gravy stirred. So the good thing about it is I did make this meal in about 30 minutes. And hey, you can't beat that. If I had been making meatballs from scratch, it would have taken a lot longer than that. Ooh, this is some long pasta here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm gonna go ahead and plate this and tell Michael he can come back in the house now. If I can get it on the plate. Maybe I should have broke these in two. I'm getting ready to have a mess. Oh, but don't that look good? Who don't love pasta? Y'all, I love pasta. Unfortunately. That looks really good. Got one more noodle there. Okay, let me get a couple of meatballs on here. I'm gonna give Michael 4 meatballs here to start with. And I'll top it off with a little bit of gravy on that pasta. And as my gravy sat, of course, it got a little bit thick. And if it does that, just go back and add your little bit of milk or water to it. I'm gonna sprinkle this with some more parsley. And let's not forget fresh Parmesan cheese. So, yep, there's a nice quick dinner idea for y'all. Yummy, yummy. Don't forget to say your blessings, and thanks so much for watching. See you next time.